Hello all. Here we are again, keeping momentum. There's still much to learn about 3D. I'm here with Jakson, Vice President of Investments at 3D. He works very closely with Sheldon, who we've just had on, the CEO. They both live and breathe 3D, and we're going to continue to find out more. So, Jakson, as Vice President of Investments at 3D, how do you find your investments? And identify attractive opportunities and do DD on these companies?
Well, first off, thanks for having me, Hector. Great to be on. In terms of, it's important to have, good deal flow. And I think that's what kind of is one of a differentiators for 3D is, access to, what I'll say is proprietary and what Sheldon would also say is proprietary deal flow. And, that comes through many different sources. Yes, we get things through LinkedIn and cold outreach, but, we've built up a big network of people, pretty internationally all over, although a lot in Canada here over the years. And, people will reach out to us. They've known what we've done for other companies to help build them. And, will come to us with new deals. And, sometimes, I will also, reach out to certain companies that, I come across my radar that I think is interesting, or there's certain sectors we want to get involved in that, we think is interesting. And the company might have a lot of potential, good management, but just as undervalued or needs to be, capitalized. Those opportunities we'll always look for as well. So, it's a diverse kind of different group of people and places that we look at and look for new deal flow.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got a plethora of opportunities. Do you ever turn down some opportunities you think, oh, this would be really good to do, but we've just got too many good deals in the pipeline, so we cut down our time, or we'll maybe hand them over to a portfolio company to complete?
We are very selective in our investments, and we look at many deals every day, and we really only participate in a fraction of them. If the deal is very good and really fits our wheelhouse, we tend to find ways to make that. We try and get involved, but we are very selective, and that's because there's a lot of criteria that we have to getting involved in a deal. We want to be involved very early. We want to believe in the company, if it's disruptive technology, the opportunity, the tech itself, and probably most importantly the management of the company. Who they are, what their track record is all extremely important. So for every, I don't know how many deals we turn down for every one we invest, but it is a very selective group. So everything that we get involved in, we truly believe in. We believe in the company and management.
Yeah, I think that's a great point about management. That's one of the reasons I've got close to you guys, or as I'm learning. I think I mentioned a book called The Zulu Principle, and one of his key points is obviously there's great companies to find based off financials and their growth stories and growing a PE ratio, and it's just basically very important to have that management, because if there's good management, they'll look after everyone that's involved. So going on to the next question, it's just more, I guess we talked about some investments in Sheldon's interview, but there's so many investments. What sectors technology are you focused on, and do early stage opportunities offer the best returns?
So yeah, I focus on the technology side, pretty agnostic within that. I'm quite involved on the research and knowledge on longevity and life sciences, where we're heavily focused, and I can talk a bit more about. We're involved in blockchain-like technology, AI, and we've been involved in these things for many years. Many of these things I believe Sheldon may have mentioned on another interview. They can take 7 years. So we're involved in them for the long haul, and we get deeply involved in them. But we are, I guess, agnostic in terms of the technology or sectors, as long as, you know, it fits our criteria, it's early stage, it's disruptive. And I'll focus on all these different areas myself, and help do the due diligence or use our network to help do that as well. And then, you know, regarding your second question, I mean, it kind of goes back again to, you know, the type of company. You know, do early stage companies that offer the best returns? Yes, when it's the right company with the right management. And I'll keep mentioning that throughout the interview, is, you
Mhm.
know, it's
Yeah,
all about management. I'd rather have a great manager sell an okay product than an okay
yeah,
manager selling a great product. So, you know, when you have the right combination, I mean, you know, the opportunity is bigger. I mean, it's the highest risk, highest return, you know, the earlier you get in, but it needs to be obviously the right company, and it's tough doing startups. So you need to, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of growing pains. Companies may pivot, but, you know, when things work out, whether it's, you know, technology, you know, finding the right market, getting the right partners, getting the right sales, or it's a mining company getting the right hole, I mean, the potential gains is enormous compared to obviously a much larger company.
yeah, exactly. So getting more to the point on some of the focuses. I mean, we talked a little bit about AI last time with hypercycle, which, well, as you were saying, you know, 7 years. This isn't. We're starting 7 year process now. It's been 7 years, and we're not just tagging AI on the end of some software. Um, that's obviously, that was a really good company, and obviously an AI for AI, you know, helps everyone, and they're only paying once they've been delivered the service. So I think, what are some other ones? I think we've seen you hold two stocks, actually public listed AI companies. Can you tell us a bit about those?
Yeah, and just before I do, you know, I just kind of want to reiterate, you know, this hyper cycle of just, you know, how much of a, you know, game changer that this really could be. I mean, this is just cannot be done in today's world, where one AI directly peer to peer communicates and transaction pays to another AI with no intermediaries. And intermediaries even means the blockchain in a ledger, which needs to then be confirmed, you know, across many different nodes. You know, this is truly, you know, peer to peer, no banks involved.
Brilliant.
And you know, this platform, you know, is really, you know, like the internet of AIs. You know, it enables AIs to then speak to and pay other AIs, which can then subcontract. And what's great is it's not really competing with any other AI company. You can have a chat GPT on there, you can have an optical character recognition software on there, and they can communicate and transact with each other, which is
Yeah.
just not possible in today's world. And it might be that one company needs 100 milliseconds of data from another AI around the world, and it can pay for just that data without having to subscribe or doing some bulk payments. So, you know, I think this is a really interesting opportunity. It has the opportunity to have a sort of emergence, because these little AIs can be thought of as like neurons in a brain.
Yeah.
So I think for companies, this can make them their AI much smarter, more profitable. It also can save them drastically on costs, because it has all the benefits of blockchain without the issues of scalability. So all the security is there. And so for companies, I think, you know, it's kind of a no-brainer. The opportunity here in terms of, you know, both on the cost side and the profitability, and really the product offering itself becomes better. And then this platform enables anybody to participate and benefit from the AI compute economy, where people can actually profit from this opportunity through a myriad of different ways. So, you know, we're really excited about this opportunity, or this company. And, you know, this is going live, I believe, in this first quarter. And it'll be very exciting for us to watch, and we're really looking forward to it. So
Yeah.
just on some of these other companies you mentioned, so, you know, like you said, we've been in the AI space for many years. You know, we're not just chasing what the latest hottest thing is. It's, you know, things that we've believed in for a long time and have stuck with it. You know, a couple other companies I can speak about here. One, you know, is a health tech company called AIML, which we got involved in, and, you know, we're very excited about, and may actually have the first FDA approved blood pressure watch and monitoring device. There is no FDA approved blood pressure device right now. I mean, the the watch. The traditional way is, you go into your doctor's office, they put on the cuff, they measure it, but that's actually a very bad way of measuring blood pressure. You might be stressed that day. It's going maybe once a year. I know more about my car from my dashboard than my blood pressure, because I only get it measured once a year. This now enables you to measure as many times as you want. It's how often you want, and accurately. So we think the opportunity for that is obviously massive. It's we believe this will be a near-term catalyst for the company. And there's many other this is an AI company. There's many other things that they're able to measure and that they're going to roll out for different indications, and they're going to go after different markets for this. And this is all also being commercialized this quarter. So very near term opportunity. They also have a subsidiary which is a software platform. It's focused on clinical care pathways. They work with clinical trials, and actually the subsidiary, which is based out of France, actually just got the contract to be the clinical care software platform for Europe's largest trial, which is actually 30,000 patients over 5 years. So and they're just getting contracts, left, right, and center. They're doing extremely well. We being AIML, the company, have the North American rights to this technology, which we'll be commercializing here as well. So, a lot of great catalysts for this company that we're also very excited about, and, has very deep AI tech, working with universities, University of Alberta, and other organizations. So, it's everything that we do and get involved in, the tech, there's got to be IP, there's got to be a moat, a differentiator, and we believe they have extremely unique IP with a large, obviously addressable market.
Sorry to cut you off. What's really interesting, and I haven't thought this before, is you were touching just towards the end there about some collaborations. Is there a chance that these companies are collaborating with some of your portfolio companies? Potentially, you'd think Hypercycle, but obviously Todak with the micro payments, and you were talking about blood pressure, and we know 1.3 billion people need a diagnostics report for blood pressure. So are there collaborations there going on in the background?
So, there's nothing I can talk about formally right now, but what I can say is every company we get involved with, we think about how it can potentially bridge to other companies in our portfolio. One of the things that I think differentiates 3D is we like to connect companies where we think there could be synergistic partnerships or opportunities. So we always are thinking about that. We are always making connections towards different companies, because we believe the pie can be bigger when you combine these different things, as opposed to companies trying to do it all themselves. And so that's a big part of what we do.
Brilliant. Yeah. Okay then. And then in terms of maybe immediate growth for AI ML and Infinity AI, they're obviously quite stable at the moment. We're trading at quite a low share price, which is, I guess, a positive, because they only have to uptick slightly for you guys to make a return if they hit milestones. Have they got milestones that they are basically maturing, like as some of your other investments are, in the not so distant future? Because obviously an uptick will be very significant.
Yeah, so I mentioned a bit about AIML with the blood pressure and the commercialization rollout this quarter, and on the Infinity AI side, I'll just talk a bit about that, because we obviously have a very large position there, and we're very excited for the future of this company, and just to give a bit of background. So Infinity AI, focuses on smart cities. They have extremely deep time series AI, extremely deep platform for time series AI data, and they focus on sewage and waste. And they've been getting many contracts with many cities, which as people know, dealing with cities and government can take a very long time. It's a very lengthy process, but once you get it, the contracts are very sticky, they're reoccurring, they're usually high value. And so, the company's been building that. I think it's a very good proof of. I'll say it's more than a proof of concept, but it's just further leads to credence that how great this technology is, that these cities are trusting that their sewage and
Yeah.
waste be managed by this platform.
Mm.
But the company is expanding, and they just recently announced that they're going to go into what they call as professional services. And what this really is the company has access to many developers or data scientists in Poland, which are extremely intelligent individuals. And so we have the ability to go into other verticals such as energy or healthcare or other things like that. Anyone who needs time series data, and help them and work with them and use our platform for those services. And so basically, it's a services division that they're creating. We're extremely excited about it because there's a shortage of data scientists, and there's obviously a lot of demand for AI and AI applications, which this company can really help with. And so and there's been a lot of money that's gone into this company historically. We're extremely aligned with the CEO, who we may have here on a future interview, who I'm sure would be happy to speak about his technology and the future of the company. So these are all things that are continuing to be rolled out, and so we believe this will be a catalyst for this company in this new year. So same with AIML and Hypercycle. All of these companies, it's been a lot of tech, a lot of iteration and understanding the product and product market fit. But we believe 2024 will be a catalyst year.
Brilliant. Yeah, and we'll get on to health tech quite shortly, but there's just one more company before those that I think is of interest to people, and that would be Pelotronica, which is sort of cybersecurity. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. Yeah. So Palotronica is a cybersecurity company based out of Waterloo. The founder is a professor at Waterloo, or recently was a professor at Waterloo, and doing this now more full time. And this is actually really our only, I'll say, pure play cybersecurity company, and we've looked at many.
Yeah.
The issue with a lot of the cybersecurity companies is, one, it's very difficult to tell who's better than the other.
Yeah, that's the
And
question I
the
was
other
going to
is,
ask, but I won't bother asking now. It's just how
yeah,
do you
yeah,
tell?
and the other issue is, the weakest point in cybersecurity. You might have the best software in the world, but the weak point is people. And people will click that link or think it's they need to respond to that text, and suddenly people are now in through a back door. And so what's really unique about Palotronica is it's the only company, at least we're aware of, that actually uses the laws of physics to determine hacks. And once hacks occur, they're able to be immediately notified. So even if a person does click that link, they'll know right away. And it's very unique the way that they're doing this. They're actually able to detect very subtle changes in the power output of machines when there is these hacks occurring. So when somebody is trying to hack a computer, it'll actually slightly change the power output and features of the machine, which through AI and other techniques, this company is able to detect. And because of that, they are also getting contracts. They are working with government and large organizations for example, for fighter jets, and this being the security system on them, along with other defense systems. So dealing with very top levels where security is paramount, and they are proving themselves to be a real solution to this whole cyber issue.
Lovely. No, I think that's really good to hear. I mean, I was aware of a couple of cybersecurity companies, but it seems like, as you said, you had a plethora to choose from, and you've chosen this one. So that's
Yeah, and
positive.
I'll just add, so maybe people, I don't know what the audience is, but Waterloo, where this technology originated on, and he this founder has been working on for 10 years, is like basically the MIT of Canada. It's extremely top from an engineering perspective, and we look at that as well in terms of where the technology is coming from. The the universities, the people behind it. I just want to mention another company that we're involved in. The theme about all these companies obviously is they're very deep tech. They're very disruptive. The opportunity is obviously massive, but they all have differentiators. They all have years of experience in working on it. And so this company that I'm going to talk about, a company called Neurable, has teams from people including MIT, Harvard, and Stanford. And it's a very different technology. People may have heard of these things in the past, which is the idea of being able to you put on like a ECG cap as it was done historically, which basically monitors your brain waves, and then you could maybe control a ball on a screen or change the channel or things like that. And technology has been around for a long time, but maybe even as long as the 80s. But first of all, the machine was very clunky. It wasn't very accurate. That had a whole host of other problems. This company, it's so far beyond anything else. It's almost looks like magic. They can actually so that this is what they do is they're able to accurately read brain waves and can do actions from that. But it's not a clunky headset. In fact, their technology can fit into any typical headphone, like a Bose headphone. So you have you have two headphones, one that has this ability and one that doesn't. Why not have that ability where you could have these headphones, you can change slides, change music. In the future you'll be able to text, maybe make orders, control things,
Just
other
by
electronic
thinking.
devices. And so I mean, there you can play games. One of the first applications is around monitoring your emotions, like focus, and it can tell when you're losing focus and notify you. Like think about this for drivers, and also military personnel. So they're working with the Department of Defense and have received a bunch of funding contracts with them. So very exciting because that's also commercializing very soon here, and is another company in our portfolio.
And there's a little bit on collaborations there. It sounds like obviously it fits into any headphone or device. So I think Onyx is on the website, which is obviously I've heard of that brand before. And then there's also some it's we talked about the applications of reading brain waves, but it's also a premium sound, or is there a focus around that? Does somehow reading the brain waves or with the neuroscience increase the ability of the tech to make the sound more appropriate for an individual?
So it's not let's put it this way. You're not losing out by gaining this. You'll still have the same quality of sound that you'll have for your regular headphones. You'll just have an enhanced functionality, which will grow over time, especially as we live in like a more and more smart digital age where more of our devices are smart. You'll soon be able to interact by them by thinking. And most people when I speak about this, they think, oh, like Elon Musk Neuralink, but like that's invasive. That's a different
Yes.
market. This is completely non-invasive. It's a headphone that's over the ear. It's not heavy. It's not clunky. And basically, you can do all this different functionality with it. And I think that's one of the reasons why the U.S. government is interested.
All right. So the premium sound element is you're listening to music and all of a sudden you go, it's a bit quiet, and then it just turns up for you, sort of thing, maybe.
Well, yeah, you can probably change the volume just by thinking it, which is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's funny. That's brilliant. And it's funny you mentioned Elon Musk and Neuralink. I think there was concerns, as you say, about the sort of invasiveness of that. This is just totally separate. So yeah, no, it's a good point. I think they've got two more companies here. Turn Bio. Can you tell us a bit about that with the sort of diseases that are onset by age? And yeah, that's another interesting one.
Yeah, so this is an area that I'm very personally passionate about, but also I think is as big of an opportunity as any, which is really around aging and aging research. It while lifespan has increased over the last few centuries, health span is not kept up with that metric. People are getting sicker earlier for longer, but I'm quite optimistic, as I believe in the last 5-10 years, there's been a lot of progress made in basic aging research. And, I do believe promising longevity interventions are on the horizon.
Hmm.
And the reason we're focused in this whole space of, uh, treating age-related diseases at the root cause, which is really aging, is one, it's, I mean, there's no bigger market than in the healthcare space. Aging is your number one risk factor for disease and death. I mean, your chances of getting cancer, cardiovascular disease, neurodegenerative disease all increase exponentially as one ages. But it doesn't. I don't believe it needs to be that way, and I believe that it's already been shown across model organisms from worms to mice, that you can extend lifespan and health span at the same time as well. And so we are involved in a few different companies in this aging space. One of them is what is around called epigenetic or partial reprogramming, which is become now extremely hot, I'll say, in this biotech space. Billions have been poured into it, but we actually were one of the early investors before this space really got large, and this is out of Stanford University. And just a bit of background, just to educate people who might not know as much about this space. Everyone knows your DNA. And the same DNA is in a skin cell versus a brain cell. But what really differentiates those two is what's called your epigenome, which is, you can think of as sitting on top of your genome and determines which genes are turned on and off. And that's really what differentiates all the different cell types in your body. Well, there's a researcher named Shinya Yamanaka who discovered how to take any cell, basically from any mammal organism, no matter how old. You could take a skin cell from a 110-year-old woman and apply certain factors to it and turn it into a stem cell, which basically has a age of 0. All the hallmarks of aging are gone. Now, you wouldn't apply that to a human, because then you become just one giant stem cell and nothing functions properly. But researchers a few years ago, I think this was around maybe 2016, realized if you pulse these factors, that it actually seemed to turn back the age of the clock of these cells, but they never lost their identity. The skin cell remained a skin cell, didn't turn back into a stem cell, but all of these hallmarks of aging, all this damage that seems to accumulate, went away, and they started functioning much better. And so this has become a very interesting area. We're involved in a company called Turn Bio, as you mentioned, that's focused on this. And we believe, this could be as big of an opportunity as anything in the biotech space. Many people have heard of CRISPR, which is editing DNA. This is not editing DNA. It's changing these epigenetic factors, but we believe the opportunity is as big, if not bigger, than CRISPR technology, considering could be applicable to any age-related disease, which is pretty much almost any disease outside of viral and bacterial infections and a few others. And so and we believe that this company could be the first company to be approved by the FDA to go into human clinical trials. Right now, there are no human clinical trials, but this company just announced they had their first FDA meeting, and so this could be the first one to go into humans, which is extremely exciting. And the reason we believe in this approach is and I believe in this, is that aging is either programmed or quasi-programmed. I don't believe it's necessarily damage that accumulates over time, as demonstrated by a few factors that you input into these cells seem to reset, like almost like a software program, the age of these cells. So it's an extremely exciting area of research. I think our company, for a variety of reasons, is extremely unique, from the delivery mechanism as well as the payload of what is being delivered is different than other companies in there. And maybe in the future we can talk more about it, but I think that this is an extremely interesting opportunity. And we've been in that for a number of years before this opportunity, or this whole sector, became extremely large. So that's one company. That company is called Turn Bio.
Yeah,
There's
that's a good point. I think when you were, I was going to reference, it's basically sectors that are popping off. Basically, AI and biotech are some of the biggest returning sectors in the small cap space, and that's where you focus. So you can only imagine, if you've actually got coming to human trials and some of this AI stuff that's 7 years in the making, you can only imagine, someone who's actually got product, the sort of returns that could be providing. But yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, no, we're extremely excited about that. And we have other companies in this space as well. Another one called Yuvan, which is actually very interesting, where it seemed to also rejuvenate actually at an organism level, where when they've done rat studies where they're taking the blood plasma fraction from a young animal, injecting into an old animal. And when they measure, 30 different biomarkers associated with age, including these epigenetic or biological clocks, what they're known as, they seem to all be rejuvenated, which and the creator of this biological clock, Steve Horvath, couldn't even believe the results, and it's been repeated time and time again. And in fact, we've actually even did a small lifespan study, and we one of the rats named Sema, which you can look up. I think there's an article in the Guardian. Was
All
the longest lived rat for its strain ever. And that was off a very small cohort. And, it's still very early days for this company, but, very interesting. It's done it in animals. It's extended their lifespan. It's rejuvenated across many biomarkers measured. And they're going to be going into humans as well as they're going into the veterinary clinic, going to dogs, which will be obviously a much quicker path to market.
That's really interesting. That's quite funny. You mentioned Sema the Rat. I'm going to look into that afterwards, especially if it's in the Guardian, because it's obviously a UK article. So yeah, so that's all really good stuff. There's one more company, and then I'll put some closing remarks. I think it's LL Prosper, and you're directly involved in this one. I mean, obviously you're involved in all of these investments and doing the DD, but this one presumably on the board, and you're directly working day to day to help that become a success.
Yeah, I'm actually the CEO and co-founder of this company, which it's still a bit in stealth mode, but I can talk a bit about it, which is also still focused in this kind of aging sphere. Right, we're very much focused on health span.
Mhm.
And our initial product is going to be focused on what's called inflammaging, which is chronic inflammation and increase the older you get. And inflammation is obviously tied to every disease. But what's kind of unique about our company here is we're actually using natural, or what are called, GRAS products, generally regarded as safe by the FDA,
Mhm.
which, basically means they can be sold. Now we're obviously going to be held ourselves to the highest standards of making sure the
Mhm.
product is what it says it is, and
Mhm.
free of any other stuff. But we believe that a lot of these natural products, when used by itself or in combinations, can be as effective as FDA approved drugs, but without the side effects. Now there's a lot of nutraceuticals and things out on the market where people are like, well, do I feel better? I don't really know. There's no efficacy behind their products. So we're actually doing, and we actually just completed and should be receiving data shortly, a double-blinded, placebo-controlled study where one arm received our formulation and another arm, got a placebo capsule. And we're going to be measuring thousands of proteins along with
Mhm.
other markers. And it'll probably be one of the most in-depth studies of using a nutraceutical or botanical combination really ever done in this double-blind placebo-controlled fashion. So we're really interested in that because if we see significant results for that, we can go to market directly, because this was a human trial. We didn't need to do animals and so forth, because the things in our product have been used for hundreds, if not thousands of years around the world. So they are safe products. And so we are really looking, one, to double check to make sure, of course, they're safe when they're together, and then of course after that, seeing if there's efficacy at tackling this inflammation.
It's very impressive. I mean, you seem to have huge expertise and probably one of the most difficult to break down sectors, and possibly some of the most highest returning sectors. So that's obviously very interesting, and a credit to you. And it's great you're at 3D. So I think last closing remarks and a couple of questions that I think we didn't touch on last time was obviously we talked about huge discount in value. sort of when I found you, you were 3 times below your net asset value per share. And then obviously we're talking about such a great growth story here. You know, are you guys planning any buybacks or insight? Some of the board going to be buying shares? Is the company going to buy back its own stock? Can you talk much about any issue of buyback that's planned?
So we've had an issuer buyback going for quite some time because, being, inside the company and, as
Mm.
obviously some of these opportunities we've mentioned to you, there's a lot of potential here that we see and we know and we live it, day to day. Some of these companies work out of our office. We speak with them daily.
Mm.
We know that with the people who they're dealing with, the opportunities are there. And so, even putting aside the discount to NAV, we believe that the growth potential is so large here, in terms of if these companies hit their catalysts, that we think
Yeah.
that it makes sense here to do an issuer buyback, as we have done and continue
Mhm.
to do. And so, like, we think this is a very clear testament to how much we believe in our company and our portfolio companies.
No, it's very true. It's almost showing people like we don't want to raise money when we know we're at a discount. We should be trading where we should be trading, and then we can talk about growing well what we're doing. It's almost like you don't it's a gift to people at the moment. You don't want to be giving that gift away. And then lastly, it's sort of long term goals really. Is it just to continue this growth story, like what was done with Pine Tree, but just live and breathe 3D. It's obviously a family-run business. It's going to be here for a long time. What would you say some of the objectives are? Obviously, we're maturing a lot of our investments or your investments currently. Um, where would you say the next steps are to recycle or to go again or to just continue to grow the existing investments?
Well, our passion is building companies, and so I mean it's a bit of both. I mean, obviously we want to focus on our existing companies and grow them, and make them successful. And as that happens, of course, as new opportunities and new investments and new sectors crop up where we believe that there's a tremendous amount of value where we can help. We will continue to do that. I mean, this is something we like to do. We like to help build companies. We like to, make a difference really in the world and in some of these companies that we're involved in. And so, we can keep doing that. We're obviously very excited in a number of different industries, some of which we hadn't even talked about on this call, including, in cryptocurrency. We have a
Mm.
Bitcoin miner that's, going to go on NASDAQ. And, there are many other sectors as well, that we're involved in and are excited about. And, we're just going to keep going.
And was that Griffin, the Bitcoin miner?
Yeah.
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 No, yeah, that's interesting as well. And it's yeah, crypto is a definitely a space to be in as well. No, so that's pretty much everything. It sounds like we've covered wealth, health, and the two things that everyone's after, and it's basically return for shareholders and maybe even making them live forever. Yeah, so
It's about
that's
making
brilliant.
people live healthier for
Healthier,
a long.
yeah. You have the expertise in that space. I don't. So yeah, that's all good. I think we're wrapped up here. It would be great for viewers to comment maybe their top 3 investments, even if they're not mentioned here. I know I had a shareholder reach out about Tenant. Yeah, it'd be good for people to leave some of their favorite investments below this video or on Stocktwits. That'll be good, and we can expect more attention here in the not too distant future. But if you're watching early, still put your comments down. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Hector. Appreciate
Cheers.
it.